Hello, everyone. Welcome, everybody. You guys come on in. We are live. It is a Monday night with Women in Bloom, the broadcast, and I'm excited about this broadcast because I know you guys are in for a treat. When I tell you, we had to reschedule this one, y'all, because the weather tried to put us off, but she's back and we got her on the books to come in with us and share. So you guys want to come in, and as soon as you come in, we want you to share and tag. Of course, our prophetic number is 7, so I want you guys to operate in the number 7, and also I want you guys to share what city, state you're tuning in from. As you guys are coming in, thank you guys for sharing and tagging. I'm going to share really quick. It is a Monday night. Welcome, you guys. If you guys are not acquainted with me, I am Dr. Rashawana Smith, the CEO and founder of the Visionary Institute, where we edify, educate, and we make sure that we equip women with the confidence they need to impact their regions and the people that they are called to and complete their assignments. So we want you guys to come into the room. If you are not acquainted with the Women in Bloom, this is a broadcast that I'm doing right before we have an event this Saturday called the Bloom Experience, and I'm super duper excited. This is my first event since COVID that we're going to have women live in a room. Hello, Ty. So Louisiana's in the house. We'll have women live in a room in synergy of matching and mixing and fusing ministry and the marketplace together. We are actually building a kingdom hub of women that can come together and connect and build great partnerships, kingdomships, relationships. And I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. So we want you guys to come in and hear this amazing woman of God. She is a transformation coach. I have known her for probably about 3 years, almost a little bit over 3 years. And I'm telling you, she never ceases to amaze me. She's a little firecracker, y'all. Y'all going to fall in love with her as she shares from an authentic place. Now, if y'all know me, y'all know that, hello, Natasha and Deborah, y'all know I do not, I'm not going to tell you something that's not true. I'm not going to put on a whole bunch of exaggerations. I like to shoot it to you straight. And I'm telling you, I love people like that because I feel like in today's time, we have to be very sensitive to what people are being fed. And right now, people are looking for real, authentic, y'all just got a notification. People are looking for real, authentic people that can help them and that can lead them to the places that they want to be. And so I'm all about empowerment. I'm all about growth, helping women thrive and motivate them with the confidence they need to move out of the place that they feel like they are into a greater place of exploration. And when you explore, you will expand. Hello, everybody. All right, so I need y'all to share really quick and shout out to your city and state as you guys are coming in. Welcome. Welcome, Deborah Stewart. So Kashada's in the house. My old stomping grounds, my church family, y'all are in the house from Louisiana. Hello, House of Refuge, Apostolic Full Gospel Ministries. Hello, y'all. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm excited because I know that we are gearing up for the last few days of this event. And I'm telling y'all are going to be in for a treat if you're coming in person. When I tell you, we're going to be in rare form. Just get ready. We're going to be in rare form. And it's going to be a beautiful space. It's called the Bloom Experience for a reason because women are going to be in full bloom. Y'all see, I got my flowers behind me. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a beautiful space. So if you can take boat, train, plane, you want to be in the house. You want to be with us because I believe that now more than ever, God is requiring that if we're going to accelerate, we've got to accelerate in teams. You've got to find your group, your troop, your tribe. You got to find your people that speak your language and understand what you need and what you're saying. It's nothing more frustrating than you speaking to somebody that does not understand your language. And so we want to put you in rooms with people that understand and comprehend what you need, what you want, what you're saying, what you desire, and they're not afraid of your dreams. Okay. People that are not afraid of your big, they're not afraid of your audaciousness, they're not afraid of your uniqueness. They're like, you much too much, and come on in the room with us because we're much too much too. Okay. So we want you guys to know that this is going to be a broadcast that is inspiration, motivation, and revelation because she's going to share a couple of tips with y'all. I told her, I said, you can share a couple of things. Just give them a little bit so they know that you're the real deal. But you got to come in person to make sure that you're in the room. Thank you, honey, for coming in and tagging people. And so, you guys, I'm going to make sure my phone is not cannot be reached because you know it never fails when I go live. Somebody's calling me. Okay. All right. So without further ado, we are going to bring in Miss Falon Bonner, the transformation coach. I want you guys to give us some hearts and love as I bring her in. Look at that beautiful pink. Look
at yes, we're in bloom, right? You know, I can't ready.
Y'all, she has my favorite color on. So, of course, we are so excited about you being in this space, this virtual space with us tonight, Falon. But you're going to be in person Saturday morning. And we're super excited that you have accepted the invitation. So tell us who Falon Bonner is. Some people know you, some people don't. But what would you like us to know about you tonight?
Yes. So my name is Falon Bonner, and I am a transformation life coach. And I'm the founder and CEO of the Slay Ministry, where we help women to transform their life and their business and become unrecognizable in 90 days or less. So we got a little hashtag that we use. We help you get your hashtag whole life together. So that is who I am. We serve ambitious professional women and CEOs who are really ready to move beyond average and step into God's next level plan for their life and truly become unrecognizable in every sense of the word. That means mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, like they are truly a brand new person after going through our signature framework.
Wow. Okay. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. We had to reschedule, and I didn't want to ask because I was on vacation. I was like, now, Lord, how do I get her back in this space? Because, of course, we had inclement weather and we couldn't meet. But I'm super excited about you being here because I think even from a virtual space, people can understand the power, and it can go through the airways, and people can understand the power of transformation just tonight. You know, from being in the presence of somebody that went through transformation. So to you, when did transformation take place in your life? Like, what happened for you to know that transformation was taking place?
Yeah, so I experienced, some grief with losing my husband back in 2016. And so after that experience, I just remember, for lack of a better word, I just became stuck, and when I say stuck, I'm talking about for years. So like year after year, I remained, in the same place. There was no progress in my life. And so, and I had honestly given up on life, if I'm honest with you. I had gotten to a place where I was just going to be the best mom that I could be, pour myself into being a mom and raising my child. But like I had put self on the back burner. I had gotten to a place where like my dreams, my desires, the things that I once had, I pretty much felt like they left and like passed away when my late husband transitioned. I felt like that all that was just behind me. I thought my best days were behind me, but y'all know God has a sense of humor, because I'm sure he probably was looking at me like, I'm gonna just give her a little time. I'm gonna just give her a little time. So I just remember a defining moment for me was I had already put in my mind, I had parked in the grief, so to speak. And I just was going through the motions of life, and I was walking past my car one day, and I just went to go get my son out of the car, and I got a glimpse of myself through the mirror, through the window. And and it was like I heard my late husband's voice. It was like the weirdest thing. Like I heard him call my name and was like, "Falon, what are you doing? Like, who are you?" And I remember looking, like it was like this whole out of body experience. I remember looking in the, seeing myself and not even recognizing myself. Like I truly didn't even recognize who I was, because grief just had consumed me. And I like to say that it robs you of yourself. I didn't even know who I was anymore. So that was the moment that I made a decision and said, I can't keep living like this. Like I decided in that moment that I was ready to just stop existing and start thriving.
Mm. So when you looked at yourself, you heard your late husband speak to you, and you knew there was something that you needed to do.
Yes.
He had spoken a lot of things over you, and kind
Mhm.
of share with us what you. I think it's so powerful because the voice of the person that always told you what you would be.
Right. Is the one that kind of woke me up.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us kind of what he spoke over you.
So he had always saw more in me from the day we met. The moment that we connected, he saw an entrepreneur in me. And I was in corporate, so I didn't have a mindset of an entrepreneur. Although my mom at that time had been an entrepreneur for over a decade, she's been an entrepreneur now 20 years. I still, so it was right in front of me, but it wasn't something that I desired. And I was just like, no, I went to school. I did the whole status quo. Like I went to school, I got a good job, and then I wanted to make more money. So what do? We go back and get more degrees. So I went and got a master's degree. Like I was doing all this, climbing the corporate ladder, doing all these things. And so that was my vision. So when we met, he just kept telling me, he was like, you can do this for yourself. So that was the initial thing. He was speaking entrepreneurship into me, and I didn't want any parts of it. So I kind of just kept, blocking it. And then God is just so amazing because although he was pouring into me and speaking over me, and I wasn't receiving it, God started having other people to call me and like pretty much ask me for help in the areas that I'm gifted in. So these women were calling me, asking me, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? And I was just doing it out, just out the kindness of my heart. Like, oh yeah, in between work or, because I worked a really flexible schedule. So there were days where I had off. And so on my day off, I would be helping people, do the different things that they were needing assistance with. And so once I kind of got started in that, later on, God did, reveal to me in my own devotion time that he was indeed calling me away from corporate and into, into operating full on purpose and doing what he was calling me to do. And so I did that. And that was when he really started to kind of start putting the pressure on me. That's when my late husband really started. Like, I think he saw the fullness of it. And he pretty much, he spoke on me. He prophesied over me. And he was like, he thought that he was going to be the one that was going to be the millionaire. Like he was going to kind of take our family to seven figures. But he was like, God spoke to me and said, it's going to be you. And I remember looking at him like, what are you even talking about? Like my mind couldn't even get to, like, I was at six figures, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that was my goal because that was my, income corporately. So I'm like, all right, I want to try to match that in my business. So my mind couldn't even get beyond six figures to get to the seven figures. And he just kept telling me it's going to be you. And he said, because his profession was an attorney. So he said, people will expect it. Like it wouldn't be a shock if it came from me, but coming from you, like stepping out on faith, doing this business that God has called you to do. At the time, it was fitness. He was like, it so God can get the glory. He's going to get the glory from this. So it has to be done through you. And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? So I didn't see the fullness of it. But when I tell you he was spot on, because after he released that word, somebody else came and released a similar word that was literally confirming what he said, had no clue. She just said she was walking in the store and she said, God just told me to text you and let you know that you are going to be a millionaire. She said, matter of fact, you're already a millionaire. You're just walking out the steps for a time. This was in at this time, I think it was still 2016, early on. And I was like, oh my God, like Nikki has been saying this for the last 2 years. So yeah, so I've kind of always known the direction. So him pouring it into me, like I guess, when he saw me that day, spiritually walking past there, he was like, listen, she can't abort the plan, right? Because grief and pain and disappointment can make you abort the plan and the call that God has on your life. And I'm so grateful that God used a familiar voice that, that I was going to recognize, to literally wake me up in that moment and remind me of who I am, who I belong to, whose I am, and to get back to work. There's more work to be done for me. I'm still here.
Wow. So you were in grief and
Yes.
you had that defining moment that even though you were still grieving,
Yes,
you knew that it was time for transformation.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I didn't know what it would look like. I just knew I didn't want to be sad, crying, depressed. Like I was in a really dark space. So I'm a bubbly, fun, outgoing type of person, but all of that had gone away. And I just wanted to get back to the old me. I wanted my joy back. So initially the pursuit was joy. It wasn't anything else other than me just getting back to being me, feeling good, genuinely. Not that by faith that we do sometime in church, like by faith, I'm praise God, I'm doing all right. Yes, Lord, blessed and highly favored. Like I didn't feel that way. I wanted to really feel it and I wanted to really embody it. So I went on an all-out pursuit for truly just seeking my joy and wholeness again.
Mm. So when you say transformation, you knew you needed transformation. You didn't know what that looked like. Once you decided that you were going to go on that journey, and you discovered you were transformed. What does transformation mean to you? Like, what does that look like? What do people need to know transformation entails? Like, what does that look like? What did
Yeah.
it look like for you? What did it look like for
So,
you?
well, first, transformation is becoming the absolute best version of yourself. It is the level, how we quote the scripture that before he formed me in my mother's womb, he knew me, he for all this. It's literally that person, like the person that God foreknew, for he ordained, he already greatness was planted in you at that moment, right? But it's like it's up to us to work out that potential and to get to that place. Like I like how Joyce Meyer said, it's not a definite, right? That plan is not like we have to cooperate for that plan to come to life. So it is becoming the absolute best version of yourself. It's you when you're operating at your best, when you're serving at your best, when you're being your best. It's a version of you that you have not even met yet. You hadn't even probably likely gotten a glimpse of her. At least that was I didn't even know this version of Falon existed.
Mm.
That's truly unrecognizable. It's a version of you. It's that high level that it's like your natural mind can't even fathom. We quote, I love, because we do as Christians quote these scriptures so much, but it's like, but we're not experiencing them. So when you are operating in true transformation, you're experiencing the scriptures. You're not just quoting them. It's a reality in your life. And so it is truly just being unrecognizable and being the absolute best version of yourself. So that's my definition of transformation. So yeah, I'm gonna throw it back over to you because I don't want to get too far ahead because I'll
No,
just
it's okay. I mean, I love the fact that you understand what that means to you, because sometimes we can say what it means to us and people can't even relate to that. I think everybody can relate to whatever your best version of yourself is, right? Because some of us have some things that we have to overcome, and then some of us are already there in some of
yeah,
those places. But you're always searching for a better version of yourself, and so
absolutely.
I always my one of my mantras is I'm always looking for a more healed version of myself,
Mm,
because I understand that that's where my power is wrapped up in my healing, and so I can relate to you saying transformation is a continual process because you're always looking for the highest version of the next.
yes.
So that means you don't stop growing. So
No.
so, so even in your grief, you understood I've got to continue to grow even though I'm in pain, even though I'm experiencing grief, even though I feel stuck. There has to be a decision that I'm going to search for the highest version of Falon in this season of my life. What's next for me?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so what does a woman need to know? The first step is like, because I think there's so many women that, first of all, let's break the mindset that you have to wait until your children are grown for you to live your best life.
Mm. Yes, let's break that.
Yeah, because I think women think once they have children, their children become their life. And they're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to put themselves on the back burner, not invest in themselves. All of their investment needs to go in their children. But your children are actually learning how to live through your example.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So, what did you do when you knew? What was the first step for you in the transformation process?
I think what you just said was so good because although my son at the time was probably 2 or 3, I think that defining moment he had, I don't even think he was 3. Nope, he wasn't even 3 yet. So 2.5. Here he was, and I knew that he was watching me, right? I knew that, he was watching me. And so knowing that, I know that I couldn't keep going the way that I was going, but I was so stuck. I wasn't getting therapy. You know what I mean? I was church. So I was like, you just keep praying about it. It'll eventually go away, and prayer is powerful and prayer works. And I did do some counseling at the church, but nothing will beat that professional counseling. that professional therapy. I mean, in my opinion. So I wasn't doing any of those things. And so I really, found myself where I was just like really, really stuck. And so I knew that I needed to do something different. So the first thing that I did was I made a decision. That's the first step to transformation. You got to decide that you don't want to remain the same. You no longer want to remain in the exact same situation. Nothing can happen beyond your decision. Your mama can want it for you, your spouse, your friends, your family, your village, they can want it for you because all of those people in my life did want it for me, but nobody can do it beyond your, because you have to ultimately show up and do it. So it was, I think that was like that was one of the most powerful things. A decision is powerful, y'all. Like your yes is powerful, just like your no is powerful. And so I made a decision in that moment that I didn't want to remain in the exact same situation that I had been in year after year after year. I was traveling, speaking all around the world, sharing my story, still stuck. I'm like, is this going to be my story? I'm just going to be sharing the story of the past. And it wasn't until I realized that God wanted to give me, like he wanted to introduce me to the new. What we quote in Isaiah 43:18-19, right? It's like God doing a new thing. God doing a new thing. God, like, yeah, don't you recognize it? Like, I want you to have new testimonies, new blessings, new miracles. I don't want you to have to always result back to the past and pull experiences from the past, because that was all my speaking engagements were about. I had no new blessings in my life, right? It was all when I was married and my happy life, right? I was kind of stuck there. So yeah, that was a defining moment. So that would be the first thing, is to decide that you no longer want to remain. And then the next thing would be so that was like a powerful thing. The next powerful thing was, I never forget this defining moment. I was sitting on my couch and I had been doing the work. I had started moving forward. By this point, I'm no longer living in my mom's house. I'm no longer living with family. I'm moving forward, because God, you guys, this is a write down moment if you're taking notes. God is always looking to move us forward. Everything he has for us is in front of us. So I'm moving forward. I have my own place for me and my son. It was one of my goals. So but I was still stuck. I still was stuck emotionally. I still, in my core, in my inner, wasn't happy. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And so God had me to address what he was like, first of all, let's get to the root of what's going on. I'm in my devotion time and God is literally ministering to me like he's sitting on my couch. Like it was the most real moment. And he said, your heart was broken when your husband passed. And I said, oh, because I'm thinking, oh, it's just a part of grief. You lose somebody. It's just a part. He's like, no, let's get. So then, and God speaks through his word. So he didn't just start giving me a whole bunch of stuff. He took me to Isaiah 61. The scripture that we quote about that he's close to the brokenhearted. He'll heal us of our wounds. He give us beauty for ashes. And I had only heard people quote that scripture. I had never read it for myself. And in that scripture, God downloaded his next level plan, purpose. Like y'all know, 61 is a long verse of scriptures, right? So I remember just weeping and crying. And in that moment, I said, God, I'm asking you to make me whole. Those were my exact words. So the next thing that happened after I decided I didn't want to remain, God began to connect me with like-minded women, because my prayer was, I didn't really have any, like, first of all, you'll get tugs and something in your spirit will let you know that something else is on the horizon. Like something is like, this is not it for you, right? Like you don't know what it is. You can't tangibly say, all right, it's X, Y, and Z, but you just know your spirit won't rest. And my spirit was letting me know, like, it's like next level was calling for me. That's the best way I could put it. It was like next level was just pulling, tugging, like more is more, like you can't settle here. Like, and I'm like, well, what is it? It was bubbling over on the inside of me. So after I asked God that question, I asked him to make me whole. I said, surround me with like-minded women, because he started downloading. When he give you a revelation of new, he'll give you new dreams, new goals, new desires. And he began to download new dreams, new goals, new desires. So I had all these new things that I wanted to do. But the only problem was it was big. And the people around me, they weren't in the space of entrepreneurship. So stuff that I was believing for, it was comical to them. So I wanted to get around people, and while they love me and they're my close friends, they're my village, I love people can only give you what they have. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a fact. If they've never experienced it, if they don't have it to give it to you, they simply can't pour it. They can't give it to you. So I realized that because they had not experienced that, they couldn't like pour into me and tell me, girl, you can do this, you can do it, right? So I said, God, I want to get around like-minded women where the conversations that I'm having in my heart and with you, these conversations are normal. Those are
Mm.
my exact words. I didn't know how he was going to do it. But here's the thing, y'all. We can't just pray and not obey. So when I prayed, when God started connecting women like you, prophetess, you were the first person he connected me with. I am a mature Christian, so I know the voice of God. I know when he's leading and guiding me, and I don't let my bank account determine if I'm going to obey or not, right? I
That's
just
good.
do what God going to tell me to do, because we say it all the time. Where there's a vision, there's provision, but we still won't move because we think that, it's like, we got to understand that literally is true. He will literally give you provision for the vision. All you got to do is just get the movement. The provision shows up in your motion. It don't show up when you sit still trying to figure out how I'm going to put this together. And y'all, I've been there where you trying to figure out how this going to add up, what account I'm going to take this from. That's not when God doesn't move like he moves as when you're in motion.
Mm.
So,
yeah, you got to get to the Bloom experiences. For
the rest of it, right?
You got to get to the Bloom experience, because this is the thing. When we met, we served each other, and I understand. I understand that everyone has something that they have to offer. There's a superpower, there's a supernatural anointing gift on the inside of us. And when we don't get around people that appreciate or that cultivate and that receive our gifts, it's hard to see ourselves operating in them on a greater scale. So when we met, you served me, I served you. And I think that was the most beautiful part, because you thought, well, I'm going to come take Call to Clarity and she's just going to serve me. But
Yep.
then you began to serve me in a way that taught me how to scale my business, taught me how to improve some of the initiatives in the school. And it was a beautiful thing, because we didn't put limits on what we could do for each other based on age or background or education, because your gift is just your gift. And I think people need to understand that they need to value what God has placed on the inside of people, and stop worrying about pedigrees and stop worrying about, backgrounds and all of this. If that's her lane, if that's her superpower, if that's her pocket that God has given her, you better get what you can get, because she's the one that has your particular thing that God has placed on the inside of her. So, y'all, we served each other. She came into Call to Clarity, and then I served her, and then she served me. And that's what I believe is one of the most powerful movements right now, because I heard you say that you got in a group of women that have like precious faith, but also had the mindset to move out of this place that was keeping them in this certain level. So people that dreamt big and saw things on a greater scale. So I know that impacted you, and I know we're not going to be on here long, but I want you to just tell us, how now do you see your connections? Because I know you did something with someone that was in a group with you. Now you're working with that person. How important is it to collaborate with people and link up with people right now? Like, how important to you? How has it impacted your life? Collaboration, connections.
Yeah, it has been invaluable. I absolutely know that without a shadow of a doubt, if I had not stepped out on faith, made those investments to get in the room. I mean, my coach at the time, she said, everybody want to know how to get a seat at the table. Everybody want to know how to get a seat at the table. She said, you pay to get there. I was like, bingo, because I'm at the table, baby, and Fallon paid to be here, right? And I deserve to be here. But long as I was quoting, how do I get my seat at the table? And I trying to sew my way up, and we are ministers called to the marketplace, and you have to understand the realm that you're working in, right? So, and that's an exchange of money, your resources, So once you understand that and you know how to operate in this natural world, things will take off for you. So when I understand how to release my money, get in the room with like-minded women, this is what happened that was powerful. So y'all know the prayer that I told you that I prayed. So I connected, at the time, one of my coaches during that time, this was probably like 2-3 years ago, I connected with her, and she had a community. The exact prayer that I prayed, it wasn't even about getting connected with her at the time. I thought my connection was her community, right? Didn't realize that this thing was gonna come full circle. So I didn't look at it like, well, I don't really need her coaching because I didn't know if I did or I didn't. I just knew I wanted to be in the community. She had a bunch of women that talk like me, thought like me, believed like me. I was like, I want to be connected with them. So I'm in this group. She has this mastermind, and we different cohorts were meeting together. Y'all catch this because this is good. Different cohorts were meeting together for this like business building workshop at the end of her program. Now I'm upset because the first one I couldn't make it to, the second one I couldn't make it to. It was like I couldn't find a babysitter. Like my mom, my sister was working. I could not find a sitter. And so the last one of the year that I had an opportunity, because she give you a window. If you don't make it to it, you just lose it. So I'm like, God, I got to make it to this last one. I've made my investment. I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So I was able to make it to the last one. I'm sitting in the room, November, last one of the year. I'm sitting in the room. I introduce myself. All the other ladies go around the room and introduce themselves. This young lady walks in the room, and she's so, I don't know, like when she got up and she spoke, something, it was like, I guess I just recognized the sound of her voice, like that I teach in like one of my challenges. But when she sat down, I said, God, I want to connect with her. Like I said it in my heart. I mean, I'm in the room with a whole bunch of women, so I didn't say it like out loud verbally, but in my heart, I said, I would love to connect with her. Like it was just something about her. She was so confident. It just seemed like we were really clicked. So COVID was really high during that time, and I'm like not playing about it. So I had my mask on, and everybody else was eating. So this is why y'all got to just trust God to do what He can do and what He can do best. I could have easily said, well, let me try to sit around and let me try to ease over by. Y'all know how we do. Let me try to just be in her vicinity and just see, because I'm all about organic connections. I'm not about kissing butt and do. That's just not even my style, right? Because I like for it to be genuine. So I was like, I planned to go to lunch on my own and eat in my car because the COVID is high during this time, right? And I was like, and I'm not going to change that because I want to connect with her. So I remember eating in my car by myself, wondering how am I going to connect with this girl, right? Because I'm in the, during the trainings, we all trying to get notes. Nobody is really talking. Only time you can connect is on lunch. At the end, they decided they was going to go out to eat, and I had to go get my baby. My sitter was like, you need to come on back, right? Like, you need to come on. So I couldn't do the little after hour things. I'm going somewhere with this. I get back, I get to my sitter, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right. And I get a little thing on my phone, notification on my phone. It's her. This is Gabby. Her name is Gabby. Gabby sends me a message. Hey, Falon, I was hoping we could connect. I was thinking that you were going to come to dinner, but I see that you didn't make it. Hopefully we can connect tomorrow. And I'm like, I was like, God know how to do it. And I was thinking, and I said, OMG, I wanted to connect with you as well, but I didn't know how. She was like, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen tomorrow, right? And what I didn't realize was she had looked at my page. She saw me sharing. I didn't know that she had a child with special needs. Our babies had the same little walker. So we connected on a deeper level beyond business. But here's the thing I want y'all to grab a hold of. At the time, she had, I think that was the year that she had did maybe like $500,000, like maybe like 400. I think she did like 450 or something that year in her business, because we stood up and spoke our revenue numbers in the group, right? This is why community is important, because your faith can be brought up. You hear somebody say 400,000 and you over there with 6 figures. You're like, wait, she's a child of God. I'm a child of God. Why I'm not making it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's gonna bring you up. So when she said her revenue number, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm thinking too small. So I automatically started thinking bigger. Moral of the story is I literally watched her go from $500,000 to $1 million while we've been friends. And when I tell you, it's one of the best connections I have made. And it's first of all, it's divine. It's God, because God will connect you with people that literally, they have your next level. Like they have what you need for your next level, mm-hmm. right? And you don't have to, and you got to let God connect you though, right? We can't be trying to do it on our own. I'm so grateful that I didn't try to sit in there and risk, being around people with my mask off just to make the connection. I let God do, and it was perfect, and we've been rocking ever since. And so immediately I realized when we got in community, she started saying things like, oh, I just made 6 figures this month. And I'm like, And then she called me shouting one day. She said, Fallon, she texted me a picture. She said, I just bought my company truck cash. She was at the dealership standing in front of the truck. And I called, I said, how does it feel? This is why community and getting around like-minded people, like she was bringing me up. Y'all, I hope y'all grabbing a hold of that. She was bringing me up to her faith level. And so I said, how does it feel to walk into a dealership, purchase your company vehicle for your contractors cash? She said, it felt normal.
Oh my gosh.
You need to be with like-minded people. She said, it's my birthright. It felt normal. She's like, I knew it was what I was supposed to. It felt normal to me. And that did something to me. And I said, well, why am I not showing up like this? It should be normal for me. She was like, paying cash for vehicles is normal for me. I'm the head and not the tail, right? She's not quoting that. She's experiencing that scripture.
Y'all, all I got to say, you got to get in the room. Because you can't connect. You can't connect. See, we want to do everything virtually. When I tell you, COVID made us very lazy, made us cheap, lazy. You know, we have to sow and we also have to invest. And this is one thing I love that you said, and I say it all the time. If you can't sow or you can't invest into another woman, don't expect another woman to invest in you.
1,000%. I say that too. It's so you're sowing the seed. So whether you realize that you sowing a seed, whether you sowing a seed, you know what I'm saying? You could be sowing a seed for somebody to sow into you by you putting out what you want, or you can, when you don't do it, you sowing a seed that you don't want. You gotta think people are not gonna sow into you either. It's right. The same thing you're putting out. So what you're putting out is what you're gonna get. So if you turn your nose up and you don't see the value and you don't want to do that, then you wonder why you don't have any clients. Pull out the mirror.
Yeah. I learned that, and I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I heard my coach back 2 or 3 years ago. She said, you don't want to pay somebody $1,000, but you want somebody to pay you $1,000. She said it's never going to happen. Never going to happen. If you have a problem with money, why are you expecting people to pay you in the same realm or the same level that you're afraid to sow into somebody else's life?
Yes.
Like it does not work like that. So y'all, when I tell you, you've got to get in the room, you've got to learn to position yourself
that's good.
So that God can organically connect, because every connection you make is not going to be virtual. There's some connections that only can happen when you get in person. And I'm telling you, I met Fallon, and I think she remembers this, but I didn't think about it until just now. God didn't connect us first virtually. We met
in person at the speaking.
We met in person because someone invited her to a room. She didn't know me, but she got in the room.
Yep.
And that gave her a little bit of confidence to say, okay, I can reach out to her at an appointed time. It wasn't right away.
Nope.
It wasn't immediate.
Nope.
But our first encounter was in person.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So rooms do change your life, because what I believe, and we're gonna end with this, Fallon, and whatever else you have, your closing remarks, because I know, Monday is a busy time. You got things coming up.
Yeah.
But I believe that rooms represent new levels.
Yes.
And you do have to pay to get in rooms. I don't even believe in going to things that are free, because I don't believe they're going to help you.
No, yeah.
And so
I believe I'm gonna let you have it. But yes, I agree.
Yeah, and we're looking for all this free stuff, and you can get in the room, but you stay disappointed. You feel like you wasted your time. You bought you a new outfit. It was a free event, but you wasted your time, your gas, and just your effort to get in there, and you got your hopes up and you were disappointed, because free things are not going to get you where you need to be in your next level. You've got to invest your way to where you're supposed to be. So I know you know that, because y'all, she's teaching me. Look, I take notes. I tell all the time, I say, child, you go first.
It takes big faith. Listen, y'all, it take big faith. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it there. It take real big faith.
Look, like I went on my healing journey to help you, but when we talking about scaling business, you go first. You go first. I said you the forerunner for
Tell
that.
me, y'all, this is
Yeah,
uniform.
I said you go first, and then let me know how they go, and
Right.
then
I keep up. That's I got you. Pull you. I got you. I'm gonna have a
yeah,
blueprint for you. Prepare the way for you.
yeah, because this is the thing, fella. I don't want to be, and y'all, I said this because God showed me this in a dream, and I have to say this because He's bringing this back to my remembrance. You got to surround yourself with people that won't wave at you, but they'll invite you to sit with them. Don't wave at me. Hey, girl, no, invite me to come sit with you. I don't want to be around people that's waving. Come on. I want to be around people that's going to invite me to the table and scoot over and we can share a seat if I need to.
Absolutely.
You got to surround yourself with people that want to see you win and know it's your cake season. So we're going to end with this. Y'all need to get in the room with Falon Bonner. She's going to be on the panel.
Yes.
This Saturday, August the 26th, for the Bloom Experience, entitled Postured. I know it's going to be an amazing time. She's going to be one of the panel guests, and she's going to be talking about resilience and talking about key things to transform your life. You want to make sure you're there because this is not a hype, emotionalized event. This is going to be practical steps and her story to help you get to where you know you need to be. So you're going to leave with nuggets, tips, strategy when you leave that room, and you're going to leave with the opportunity to meet her and connect with her in person. So we're going to have a networker. I'm going to teach a master class, and you do not want to miss it. So Falon, we want to give you parting words, and I'm going to put up our so Falon has her own, y'all. She's special now. She's special. She got her own discount code. Okay. We have a few seats left in the Bloom Experience. We're going to close doors on Wednesday. And so you want to go to www.drrashawnasmith.com and you can use her coupon code, capital F, lowercase ALON, Falon, and you can receive $20 off of your ticket. Okay. You can't beat that. We're going to have brunch and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to do a little mini release room. Listen, the mini release room is worth the ticket. Okay. Just so you know. Okay. You're going to come into release at the beginning of the event. So, Falon, kind of tell us parting words. I know that you've gone through many processes, and I want you to kind of end with this because you've lived, you've done the work. I've seen you. I've seen the transformation. I've seen the drastic change where people are asking you, "What did you do? Like, what happened? Like, tell me the steps." Like, we're looking to you because we see the evidence. Like, you are the evidence that it's possible. It's possible. Tell us, when transformation happens, what can they get ready for? What can women expect when transformation hits their house? Like, you don't have to go in depth because that'll be a whole nother 30 minutes. But tell us what they can expect in any way. If they just decide to make a decision, as you said, they decide to make that decision, they decide to take a step in the right direction and look forward. You said never, God is never telling us to go backwards, but always forward. What can they expect in the transformation?
First word that came to mind is peace.
Mm.
Peace that truly surpasses all understanding, joy, that true unspeakable joy. And it's like the air is different up here. Like I literally say that, like it's a whole new way of living, breathing, being. And I wish somebody would have told me that this was available. Like this kind of living was available. You know what I mean? When I was deep in grief and deep in my process. So it is that's the best way. It's just peace. And I know, we're pulled in so many different directions throughout the day, our responsibilities and all this stuff. But God has literally when he says my yoke is easy and my burden is light, he means that even as it relates to your life. Don't just put circumstances in that bucket. He's talking about your whole life. Like, are things perfect? No. Do I have, my times up and down? They're up and down times that I do experience. But the life that I have now, I can say it's truly it's never been like quite this good. Like this is a hold up because it's that peace, and your peace is really priceless. So
Mm,
that's what you can expect. You can expect that calm and that peace that I believe that so many of us are searching and looking for.
yeah. And your life becomes just magnets for what
Yeah.
you deserve, what you desire. Instead of you laboring by the sweat of your brow, you begin to
Right.
attract.
It's just like it flows. Everything is lined up for you. You don't have to fight. You don't have to argue with people. Like it's a flow that is really indescribable. It's truly just an experience. And I'm like, man, why everybody not living like this? Like, why are people like? And I just think it's just because they don't know. So you guys make sure that you come out. I love prophets when you said about getting in the room, because I would not have met, connections like, my business accountability partners and now friends like Gabby. You guys see, we just did a faith and funnels workshop. Those connections, I didn't meet any connections like that when I was doing virtual stuff. Those connections, my next level connections, did not happen until I got in the room. So being in the room is so powerful and so important. And even prophets, when you share about how we met, I was reminded as you were speaking, I'm like, oh, when I read Isaiah 61 and I was praying and asking God, I believe that your event was before that. I prayed and asked God after that. So it was like so much revelation even came after the event. You know what I mean? And not even realizing that God was getting ready to connect us and really answer my prayer. Because when God puts you in the room, He's giving you a glimpse of where you're going. So you
Yeah,
need to scan the environment. When you walk in the room for the Bloom
that's good.
experience, you need to look around and see, like, this is where I'm going. This is destiny. This is next level for me. You don't need to be in there shrinking. You need to be in there with your shoulders, like I'm talking about standing tall, shoulders back. Like, this is where I'm going, because God saw fit for you to be in that room. He's giving you a glimpse of where you're going. That's a whole nother testimony that I have coming on a whole nother day. How when I stepped in a room, God gave me a glimpse of where I was going, and I'm literally living out that life right now in this very second. So
Wow.
do not delay. Get in the room. Some of you can't afford not to. It's too much on the line. Your purpose, you feel it. You know God is calling you to do more. You know there's something in your spirit that's saying you're supposed to be at this event. You may not even know why. Just obey and get in there, and it'll be revealed once you're in the room.
Yeah, yeah. Because the room is loaded.
Mm.
So
I mean,
it's a
look at the impact I get from you virtually. I don't even know why it's a question. I mean, it should just be us. There would be the opportunity that you have. I wouldn't be anywhere else on this Saturday other than in this room. Your whole life can be different, literally, from this one decision, from
yeah.
just get in this room on
Mhm.
Saturday. And it's not even a long thing. It's 10 to 2, right? Like, just get in the room, make this investment of time to become better for yourself, to pour into yourself so you can watch your whole life expand.
Yeah, yeah. I think you put it best. I can't top that because she is truly living, and you guys have not heard the full story, but I've watched her, and y'all know I'm a straight shooter. I'm telling you, I've watched her. It's no exaggeration. I've watched her build a business from the ground up. I've seen God do it, and I'm looking like turning my head because I'm like, I did. It's not like I didn't believe God would do it because I saw it would happen, but I didn't know it would happen that quickly.
Yes, that's the
I did
part.
not know it would happen that quickly. I saw it happening, but I did not know God would accelerate it that way. And I
Mm.
think when we decide this is what we getting off. The investment is what accelerates it. When you
Ooh,
try to do it and climb up that rough side of the mountain in your own effort and learn everything and Google everything and find out yourself, and you on an island and you doing everything by yourself, you'll get there eventually. But when you connect to somebody that's already there, there's an acceleration that takes place. So the
ooh.
fact that you were able to, in your mindset, to say, she's there, I'm getting there faster because I'm getting ready to connect to her. And if I have to pay to get in the room,
Yes.
acceleration is coming to me. Why? Because she's already there. So I don't need to try to figure it out because she's about to load it and tell me how this thing goes.
Bypass the learning curve. That's why
Yeah,
we invest to bypass the learning curve.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
We collapse decades into days,
Yeah. Ooh, come on, y'all
right?
tweet that. Look.
When we invest, and that's why one of my taglines is you're worth the investment, because people don't want to invest. They want to buy shoes, clothes, wigs, trips and all of that. But how about your healing and your process can pay for the rest?
Ooh, it can.
On a greater scale. So instead of you going to Florida, you going to Cabo on a business trip, as this is what Falon's doing.
Yes. Yes. Spending a week with millionaires, right?
Yes.
Because God already spoke the vision. Now, he told me I would be a millionaire. Now, what if I make the investment to get in the rooms with him? I wouldn't be on my way to millionaire status. I guarantee you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll still be praying and hoping. So I know a lot of you guys are going to make the best decision. I'm so excited to meet you guys in person, and just obey what you feel in your spirit. You're supposed to be in the room. And I just say, just don't fight it. Don't resist it. Just flow. Just flow with God. He'll do the rest.
Yeah. Thank you, Falon, for just coming on. I told you guys, no notes, just straight from the heart, straight from experience. Listen, that's the way it's going to be. I told him I don't know what I was thinking when I put 3 firecrackers on a panel for an hour. So y'all, I'm gonna have to be doing this now. Look, time, because I already know when they start talking, them women gonna be like, "We owe you some money, Prophets," and I might say, "Yeah, you do." No, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So you guys want to get your tickets. Thank you, Falon, for sharing tonight. And she's going to share even more on Saturday. We're going to be in bloom. Wear your beautiful colors. We're excited about you coming and pouring into the lives of women, and also women connecting with you, because you got some things, some amazing things that are coming up. And we want you guys to get firsthand connections with her in person in that room. All right. So thank you, Falon. Y'all give us some hearts as she leaves us tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. See y'all Saturday.
Okay, I'll see you.
All right,
you guys. So we are down to the stretch. We've got a couple of more days for you guys to enroll. As you guys know, we have catering. We have all kind of other things that we have to make sure we manage. So if you are interested in coming to the Bloom Experience, we are going to be in Marietta on this Saturday, August the 26th from 10 to 2 for the Bloom Experience entitled Postured. We're going to be talking about how you can posture yourself to make sure that you don't forfeit your blooming season. And then we're going to have a beautiful brunch and also the Bloom panel, and we're going to have a networker after that. So you're going to have an opportunity to link up and talk to these women in person. And we never know how God is going to move. Listen, this is a kingdom movement, but it's a marketplace event to help you understand that you have something to offer, and God is going to teach you how to get there by using other women. When I tell you, like never before, I know that Naomi's are going to be in the room, Deborah's are going to be in the room, listen, and Jonathan's are going to be in the room. These are divine intersections, people that God has called into your life to level you up and take you to your next level. So you want to make sure you're there. Dr. Lexi's on. She's going to be in the Bloom room with us. She's actually a panelist. And also Dr. Val Tigner is going to be on the Bloom panel. And I'm going to be ministering and teaching the masterclass. Women from all over Atlanta, people that are coming from South Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, and also Virginia. I think some of the states, I'm not sure if I'm missing some, but we're going to have women there. You need to get your ticket before it sells out, because I'm telling you, this is a movement. This is not just an event. This is a movement. And I know women's lives are going to be changed forever. All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. This concludes our last Women in Bloom for this particular segment, but we will come back at a later time. Y'all don't want to watch the reels and the videos from the Bloom Experience if you can be there. You want to be in person. So I want to see you guys there. Go ahead and get your ticket. Sponsor someone. If you are a man and you follow me, or you are a woman and you say, you know what, Prophetess, I cannot be there, but I want to sow a ticket into somebody's life and I want to sponsor somebody. If that's you and you want to sow it into somebody's life, get in touch with me and we will actually contact some women that may need a ticket to come and offer it to someone that wants to come and be in that room. Because this is what I know. I talk about the scripture in Matthew, where um, there's a parable about the talents, and every person has at least one. The servants are given 1, 2, and 5 talents, and everybody has something that the Lord has given them to rule and reign over and increase. And I think it's an insult to God. I said that today, for us to pray for a financial blessing when we are not utilizing the talents and the gifts that God has given us. And so I want to invite you not only into a space where you can offer what you have, but you learn how to scale it properly, and you understand how to find the people that will value what you have to offer. So many times we get in these places, in these hubs, that people don't even value what we're offering. But you need to learn that there's tribes, troops, and groups of people that understand your language, that can value you, and can teach you how to go to your next level. And so that's what this Bloom experience is thriving, growing, and coming into your next level as we connect, collaborate, and create great partnership, kingdomships, and relationships in that room. So I bless you guys. Thank you guys for joining me on this Monday night. I'll probably be on a couple of more times, but definitely tickets will close on Wednesday. So you got today, tomorrow, and Wednesday until midnight to come into the room to secure your seat. All right. So you guys want to go to that website and get your tickets, or you can also sponsor someone a ticket. All right. So I will see you guys in the Bloom room. Don't be a spectator. Listen, be a participator. Come on in the room and join us. It's going to be amazing. I love you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Share this with somebody that you know needs to hear a motivational, transformational story about somebody. Falon is such a model and example for women, that you don't stop living because bad things happen, because trauma knocks on your door. You don't stop living. You don't crawl up in a ball and die because some other things, you lose some things in your life. You don't stop living because some things happen to you that make you grieve and hurt you. You have to continue to live out the assignment that God has spoken over your life. And I thought it was so refreshing that she talked about how her husband had prophesied that when he was living, how she would do all these great things. And now she's living that prophecy. We have to learn to participate in the prophecy and do what we know God has spoken over our heads. All right. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the Bloom room. Bye-bye.